This is No Offseason Podcast, college football preview week 6.
Best week of the year.
Best week of the year for some, Red River Shootout is this weekend. That's probably the big game, the headliner game of the week.
Yeah, but huge game for us. And it's like we look forward to it every year.
Oh, yeah.
Real pumped up.
When you live in the state of Texas, huge Texas fan. I enjoy Texas, and I really think Oklahoma's good this year. So I think this is an interesting matchup. And it's my game of the year for betting.
Yeah, it's a wild that you're doing that, but that's fine.
It's a tradition like none other. It's just like last week. This is a tradition like none other.
Hey, man, that worked out last week, too.
And it did, and I think this week it's going to work out as well.
Wild shit happens in the A&M Arkansas game every year, and got pick sixes, punt returns.
Yeah, so that's looking forward to it. We'll get into that more in a second. Week 6 is here. I would say this week is has more interesting matchups than last week. I feel like last week you were trying to find the matchups that you were hoping for more upsets that weren't there. You were desperately trying to find the upsets that you could find.
I was trying to talk you into upsets last week. I was like, out of the 3 games, the Auburn, Georgia, the
Michigan, Nebraska, and Kansas, Texas game, none of them. And I was like, I don't think any of them were going to be there.
Yeah, Auburn kept it close, though.
Auburn did the best out of the bunch. But it wasn't it was one of those things where I just didn't feel like it was going to be any upsets. And you were trying to find any other upsets that you could, like South Carolina over Tennessee. Mm-hmm. There was another one. Duke beating Notre Dame. Like, you were looking for the upset that weren't there. But this week, I feel like there could possibly be, there is upsets this week. There is for sure going to be an upset this week from a ranked team to a non-ranked team.
For sure?
I think, for sure.
Okay.
And we are also in political ranking time. This is now we're in
political ranking time. What are we ranking politicians?
No, this is where politics come into ranking.
Oh.
This is where I feel like I'm not going to say the group, but I think we all know the group. I feel like you know how Rotten Tomatoes got found out that certain companies pay for critics to give them a good review. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like certain conferences pay APs, the press, to rank their team, to rank a team, and I think we all know that conference. I'm not going to point them out.
I don't think that it's like that. I think the media just sucks off the SEC so much the AP, the news writers, because I would say this, like, a lot of the people that vote in the AP, like, they're on the East Coast. They don't watch Pac-12 games. They won't stay up past 10 o'clock. They're older too. So you think an old man that's like 60 years old is staying up to like 1 o'clock? Some of them will, but not a lot of them.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, you look at it, at what point does LSU deserve to be ranked? And I was stunned to see them 23rd.
Quality losses?
I don't care about quality losses. Look, when you have Maryland, A&M's not ranked.
Yeah, A&M should be ranked instead of LSU.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to keep LSU in for...
That's off of the preseason rankings, so of what they thought they were coming into the season. And that's what happens.
I know. Get rid of the preseason out of your mind. I know. Get it out of your mind and do the... A&M's lost 1 game to Miami, which is a better loss than Ole Miss. And they lost to Florida State, neutral site. Cool. They lost to Ole Miss. They had that game in the bag and lost it, so they shouldn't be ranked. A&M lost to Miami at Miami. They should be ranked. You can argue Maryland because they're undefeated. That's fine. I'd be fine with A&M or Maryland at 23. The fact that Duke only dropped 2 spots, and they're like, oh, they played Notre Dame close.
Fair enough, but Duke's not going to be ranked for long.
I know. Is Leonard's out?
Yeah, for a while. Like, they said there's a chance he might come back later in the season, but he's going to be out for a while, so their season's done.
So I would have dropped Duke almost out of the top 25.
Mm-hmm. I would be fine with that, but that's projecting instead of what the results on the field are.
Is, but you should know, Leonard's not there. That's their whole offense.
Yeah, they're not a top 25
because Kansas went from being ranked to out, and you're like, well, they didn't have Daniels, right? So shouldn't they have dropped 1 spot?
Like on a neutral field, who are you picking, Kansas or Duke?
Yeah, I would say I'd choose Kansas because Daniels' back might be good that day. we're kind of in that spot where Daniels is always a game time decision, and you hate that for Kansas. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to see that because I think Daniels is really good. He's a great college quarterback. And him not being in that Texas game really hurt anything that you did. So the over in that game for me didn't happen because Daniels was out. And Bean's a solid backup, but he's not Daniels.
Yeah.
And that really hurt him there. And I feel like that was a test for Texas. They did a good job passing it. But again, it wasn't the full Kansas team I wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't really take too much out of that game since Daniels didn't play. I really was hoping he'd play so I'd have a better feel about Texas going into OU game. But
and Georgia still being one after barely beating Auburn.
I went on that rant 2 weeks ago about this.
I know, but everybody, even all the experts are just saying, Georgia is not the number one team in the nation. They're not. And for some reason, the price is they're still one because of the preseason. You gotta beat them. You gotta beat the champs to get them out of the spot. Mm-hmm. But performance-wise, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, and I would even say Penn State have all played. Even Washington have all. Oregon too. So from 2 to 8 have all played better than Georgia throughout the year.
Yes.
I wouldn't drop Georgia to 8. I still give them the champion respect of staying in the top 4. But they can't be 1.
No. I'd be interested if the playoff committee had to do it this week on what their
top 4
it'd be crazy. It'd be anarchy because people would be tripping out because they would leave out multiple teams.
Who would they leave out? Florida State, Penn State, Washington, or Oregon, or USC? Out of that group, who are we leaving out?
In my opinion, at this point in the season, it should be Texas, Michigan, Florida State, Washington. That's who I would go with. But I think we've done that before. But this is why they don't do it this early because there's going to be teams that will chalk up losses throughout there. But there is a chance. There is a world whenever they do it. I don't know what date it is. It's probably another 3 weeks.
This is the thing. Texas plays Oklahoma this week. So we'll see what happens there.
Florida State's not losing.
Next week, Washington plays Oregon. So they're going to knock each other out.
Yes.
One of them's going to get out of that. Penn State's going to play Michigan and Ohio State. So
Penn State plays Ohio State in 2 weeks.
Okay. So that'll balance it out. And I think in about 2 weeks, I think that's when is it week 10 or is it week 8 when they come out with it? So I think it's about 2 weeks when they come out with the playoffs. So that'll be interesting. But if I had to leave the teams out right now, Georgia might be out. But it's hard to say because, like I said, you got to beat the champ to get them out.
Yeah.
And you can't just take the champ out.
Hey, man, but if you're basing everything on the year.
If I'm basing on the year. If this was the basketball committee, right? The NCAA tournament-wise, I would have Georgia not even in my 4. So you're right. I'd have Texas. I'd have Florida State. I'd have Ohio State.
Actually, I think I said I had Michigan in there. I need to put Ohio State instead of Michigan because Michigan and Georgia are one and the same that haven't played anybody. So
but Michigan did dominate their road game.
They did.
And then everybody's like, "Oh, it's a tough place to play in Auburn." Lincoln's filled and it's loud.
Man, I like how all the excuses came out of the woodwork for the Georgia
game. Oh, they played at Auburn.
It's a rivalry game. It's at Auburn. Auburn's a tough place to play. You know how many times has Auburn's lost at home in games that they shouldn't lose to? Yeah, they've lost to shitty SEC teams at home. And then if you get up on them early, the fans just fucking are like, ugh.
But then you do that, right? Michigan's like, well, we played Nebraska on the road, hard game, and we only gave up a measly, crappy 7 points at the end of the game. We dominated from start to finish. So, that argument of Georgia doing that, and then Kirby Smart saying he thinks every SEC team should be ranked.
Did he forget Vanderbilt's in the SEC?
He baffled me when he said that. I was like,
Did he forget Vanderbilt's in the SEC?
Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, South Carolina lost to North Carolina. Where's your argument at there? They have 3 losses.
Like you said, the politics are getting into. He's politicking.
He's really politicking, trying to say, hey, we play in the SEC. Michigan plays in the Big Ten. They play Rutgers and this and that. You play Vanderbilt, all right? You're gonna play Florida. You're playing the mediocre Tennessee team this year. Let's relax. And you're playing Kentucky this week, which they have more questions on. There's still the questions on offense with them. So, like, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Kirby. You're lucky Kentucky jumped, and then back to politics. Where's Kentucky? 20th. They jumped 7 spots.
For beating a Florida team that we did say last week shouldn't even be ranked.
Yeah.
And they were going to lose that game.
Yeah. Like, Missouri beat K-State. I think K-State's better win is a better value win than Florida.
Missouri has a better resume than Kentucky without a doubt. Because they also beat a tough... I wouldn't say tough, but like it's not an easy game to play Memphis at a neutral site. That game's not.
That's easy. That's a solid G5 win.
Yeah, so like Missouri's got a better resume. They should be higher. I'm surprised they're like
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how Duke only dropped 2 spots when they should be behind.
What's up? Utah should be out of the top 25 too. Take their asses out.
They got 8. They gave them the smack.
I know you can't drop them out, but fucking like their offense is so bad that like I don't see him being in the top 25 this season with the offense. Like they're just waiting for Cam Rising to come back.
But the question is whenever Cam comes back, and you never know because they don't really come out with anything. They just say game time decision, and you're like, is he a game time decision or is he not? But like it's just one of those things where I hate Utah for that. You're like, oh, we gotta wait for it. As a gambler, I hate betting Utah because I'm like, well, if Cam plays, I'm all in.
I'm just always under the assumption he's not playing every week. That's how I've been doing it every week, and it's been like working out for UCLA.
It worked out
once. It worked out last week. Yeah. UCLA game. I'm still salty about that, but whatever.
Yeah. So I think we're in a lot of ranking politics, and where we're going, and then the argument because now. Georgia can be like, well, look who we're playing. We're playing the 20th best team in the nation in Kentucky.
Yes.
That's a value pick. And I'm not denying
it. But I saw that coming a mile away because Kentucky was going to win.
I don't hate... I think Kentucky should be ranked anyway, so that's fine. Mm-hmm. I respect that. But like, LSU's ranked. And you're like, Ole Miss has got LSU this week. And you're like, oh.
I think Ole Miss is too high also. I think they could have easily lost that game to LSU.
They could have.
They're too high. They don't need to jump spot that many spots for being in LSU when they should have kind of lost that game anyway. I think they could have just stayed where they're at. I think Miami should be ahead of them.
Yeah, I don't know why Miami doesn't get the love. Like I feel like everybody forgets that they beat A&M.
And Miami's cool with it too because no one talks about it. No one talks about it.
That Florida State Miami game is going to be
damn Amber Alert.
Amber Alert.
Oh, crap.
We all got Amber Alerts here. But like Miami's just like, we'll stay at 17 until we play Florida State and then we're going to try to beat them. So like the value there, but like the value of that A&M win for Miami is just not there apparently.
Yeah, I guess they're under the assumption A&M's just not that good this year.
Not that good, I guess.
That's what they're telling us. So which is fine, I guess. And like I said before, like Miami's loving life because no one gets to talk about them. They could just kind of no pressure, stay under the radar until. It's kind of
like what Oklahoma did. They stayed under the radar for most of the year, and then people will talk about like, what do you think about Oklahoma? The defense has really turned around. And people like they haven't played anybody. They barely beat SMU. They couldn't cover against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati really didn't have any shot in that. Like if
Oklahoma was moving the ball up and down the field, they just couldn't.
They just couldn't score
And
they just couldn't score. Gabriel had wasn't a good game.
I think it's interesting that. When it comes to like, so whenever Oklahoma does play the big game, like, so they're playing us this weekend in the Red River Shootout, like, so everyone has to have a take on the matchup and this and that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, Oklahoma hasn't played anybody, and they're trying to break the game down, but they probably haven't watched Oklahoma play anybody or play a game this season because when you say they haven't played anybody, like, are you watching them play SMU? Are you watching them play Cincinnati? Are you watching that game?
Are you watching them play Iowa State?
Yeah, like you're not probably watching those games, so you really don't have a grasp on how good Oklahoma really is.
Yeah, like they gave up they gave up quick points in the Iowa State game. Once they gave up the 20, there was nothing. Venables said, "Hey, we need to get our shit together and stop giving Iowa State."
Early in that game, they were not tackling at all.
No, but Venables sat down the defense, told them, "Hey, stop fucking around and win this game." Because their offense was flying.
Yeah, and then they just put it on cruise control in the second half and just like, we're like, all right, cool, let's just get out of here. No injuries.
Yeah, no injuries. Get to Dallas and be good to go.
Yep.
And that was the thing. Like, their defense does, I guess we'll just get into the game after the rankings.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Because their defense has moments, right? And where they just have bad moments. Like in the Cincinnati game, they had bad moments to where they were just giving up passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving up completions. But once like it got down to the nitty gritty into the red zone, they didn't even let Cincinnati get anywhere.
No.
They made sure we're not going to let you score. And then kind of the same thing with Iowa State. Now Iowa State did score 2 touchdowns. And then they were like, all right, we're good. Stop playing. We're not going to let you score anymore. So I could see Texas have moments, like Oklahoma will have those moments against Texas where there's going to, like Texas is going to look like a fucking powerhouse on offense, right?
Between the 20s.
Yeah.
And then once it gets close to the red zone.
That's where things get...
Because we struggle in the red zone anyway all year.
Yeah.
We've been awful in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Oklahoma's good inside the red zone. And I think that could be a key to the game. Or do we get 3 points? Maybe not even 3 because our kicker's been... Auburn's been struggling. And Oklahoma's good at stopping teams when they get down there. So I think that's the strategy going into the game. Oklahoma will be like, you can have all the yards you want. We're going to score touchdowns. You're going to kick field goals. That's how we win the game. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what
if anybody looks at last year, do not look at last year's game, by the way. Gabriel was out. They only threw the ball, I think, about 5-6 times. The quarterback maybe threw 11 times, and they were like, yeah, you can't throw.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the COVID year, and I brought this up to you off the podcast, but it was kind of like when Denver didn't have a quarterback for COVID, and they couldn't delay the game, which was weird because they delayed every other game except that one.
Yeah, NFL just hates Denver, but fuck it, we suck anyway. So
and then they were like, well, Denver was like, well, we got to throw in the quarterback, throw in the receiver. He played a little quarterback in high school, and New Orleans knew they couldn't throw the ball, and when they did, it was bad.
Oh yeah, god awful.
Yeah, so it was kind of Oklahoma did the same thing, and Texas was like, well, we're just gonna put 10 in the box, man to man. You ain't gonna pass it, and they didn't. Venables was just like, all right, we're going to concede this game, move on. Was it bad? Yes, it was a horrible loss. It didn't look great.
No.
And I think that's what everybody has this 1 year narrative on Venables and how bad they were last year. Venables needed time to readjust that crappy defense Lincoln Riley left him. And everybody's like, oh, USC doesn't play defense. Oklahoma didn't play defense. And so when Venables gets there and they have no discipline on defense, he has to teach them the basics of their of defense and install his defense.
And install the scheme, yes.
And what he did last year was bad. I'm not going to say it was good. Look at the defense now. It's a lot better. And they haven't played anyway. They making sure they don't score though. There's a thing when you say, like Georgia's defense, you're like, it's not that good. They're not that good.
Not as good. Whenever you're putting out the expectations on Georgia, because it is good, but it's not.
The expectation of Georgia from like the past 3-4 years, it's not that level.
Yes.
And so anything Oklahoma did, like you can't say Oklahoma's defense hasn't played anybody when you go, but look at the numbers. They're not giving up 30 points anymore and getting these shootouts. They're winning games and controlling the games now. That's where the difference is. Mm-hmm. And now, going to the Texas side, I think I don't know, day-to-day for Sanders, probably a game-time decision for him.
Yeah, he's going to be banged up. It's an ankle injury, so.
And this is the game.
Also, Ryan Watts, the corner.
Yeah, but this is the game where he comes out. Xavier Worthy has his best games every year in this game. He makes a big play every time in this game. It's been for 2 years in a row. He's got the quick screen on the first game, touchdown. He got the deep ball last year, touchdown. Like, this is his coming out party. He needs to come out.
Well, not a coming out party because he's like people know about him.
But like this is where people actually go, he's one of the best receivers in the nation.
Yeah, that's
because I said he was going to win the receiver Biletnikoff.
The Biletnikoff Award.
And he hasn't. He's been good, but he hasn't been like
AD. Well, he hates being called AD now, but I don't even know.
Mitchell.
Yeah, I was gonna I can't pronounce his first name. Is it Adley Mitchell? Adali Mitchell or something like that. He's actually been the more consistent receiver out of the two. Actually, I think their numbers AD might even have a little bit more yards than Worthy, but it really doesn't matter because they balance each other out. You can't take one away from the other.
No.
I will say this though, since Sanders is probably going to be banged up, I'm thinking a really big game from Whittington.
Oh, you think Whittington's going to have a big game?
I think he takes the role in the Sanders role and go over running the same routes, which he's very capable of. I think that'll be the adjustment that we make for that. Either him, I don't think we trust our freshman receiver Cook enough to put him in the position, so we'll go with the 8-year senior Jordan Whittington.
And I'll say this, I think I think there's one big factor that I will say when you haven't played a good team that I want to see what Oklahoma does, and it's their offensive line versus Texas defensive line. Because yes, I'm hyping Oklahoma up because I do think Oklahoma is a good team. But I want to see their offensive line go against a top tier defensive line and see how well they pass protect and create rushing lanes against a really good Texas. Well, you say the best defense in the nation.
Yeah, that's where I went out there on that. I will say Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, those three, but they're playing the Big Ten, so that's why I put us play against different offenses. But neither here nor there. That'll be a key if we could get pressure on Gabriel, because if you get pressure on Gabriel, he'll
panic.
Yeah,
he's a very panic quarterback. But if you give him time to throw, he'll find Farouk and all them.
Yeah, Nick Anderson on the outside, Anthony Anderson. Their receivers are fucking phenomenal.
They're better than what you think. Like they don't have the names like they've had in the past.
I think they're really talented on the outside.
They're better all around.
They're deep.
They're deeper than just having Hollywood Brown or Mark Clayton or just like one guy. You know what I'm saying?
I like how you just left out CeeDee Lamb, the Texas killer.
I was trying. I couldn't figure out after Hollywood. Who else was it?
CeeDee Lamb killed us.
I feel horrible because like they had it was supposed to be, and then after CeeDee it was supposed to be Mims, but it wasn't Mims because
quarterback issues,
and whatnot. But now I feel like everything Anderson, Farouk, Stoops, Anthony, like they're all even and they all do their job. Like Stoops is a route runner and he's gonna get you the first down, and then you have Farouk who could go deep. Anderson could go deep, middle. Like they all can do things and they all stay in their lane and they do a good job. And Gabriel doesn't have a great deep arm and accuracy.
The accuracy on the deep ball, like that's what I'm worried about. He hasn't connected on it, but I could see him, especially in the past with our secondary on the safeties on those deep over routes. They kind of get lost, so I could see if he's connecting on the deep ball, that could be a long day.
Just think if they're starting to hit some runs really well.
That's the issue, though. I don't think they'll be able to.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they will be able to run the ball against us.
My main matchup is between the offense and the Texas defensive line and the Oklahoma's offensive line, because Oklahoma hasn't played the defensive line this good,
and Oklahoma hasn't been able to run the ball at all.
Well, they run, but they don't. They're not like deep runs. You're not getting the great 30, 40-yard runs.
Yeah, I don't think their run game is really good this year. That's the issue. And traditionally in the Texas OU game, the team that runs the ball better wins the game. That's like everyone knows that for the most part.
Unless you have a Kyler Murray. Or
we won that game.
Or was it the Caleb Williams one?
Yeah, well, he ran for a shit ton of yards at the quarterback position.
Yeah, but Bijan was running all day, too.
He did not in the second half. First half. Second half, he got shut down. They did a good job adjusting. So they might have ended up with more rushing yards because of the big Caleb Williams runs in that game. Also, the linebackers for Oklahoma,
they are
really good, really aggressive.
Run defense.
However, Brooks is good at making people miss in the hole with subtle moves. So him and Stuckman, is it Stuckman?
Yeah, I think so. Stoutman or Stuckman?
Stuckman, the linebacker for Oklahoma, he's really good at shooting gaps.
That transfer is a great run defender.
He
finds the hole, clears the hole and forces anything out. If you're trying to go middle, he'll force it outside, and they do a good job. Oklahoma does a good job at tackling. This is why,
except for that first quarter against Iowa State, they were not.
Yeah, but this is why Venables is one of the best defensive minds in college. He adjusted them from being so poor one year to being really stout at making the adjustments. Mm-hmm. And the fact that people are like, "Oh, I don't like Venables. I don't trust him. He was awful for year one."
Well, you know what? Oklahoma didn't like Venables too when he was the defensive coordinator over there, and then they kicked his ass to the curb, and he had to go to Clemson because they blamed Venables for what years was it? It was like fucking maybe it was the Colton Coy years he was the defensive coordinator over there. I think they brought Stoops back. They got rid of Venables and brought Stoops back from Arizona at that time, which is crazy. So. Like Oklahoma, I think the fan base is in on Venables. Last year was a little rough, but I like how they're patient. They're probably really confident coming into the game. Obviously, they should be. They're a really talented team.
And they're only getting better. Like, if you look at the recruiting class from next year, it's only getting better. Like, he's done a great job of recruiting. I'm pretty sure guys he wants. Like, those are all Lincoln Riley guys.
I'm really upset they didn't get to play Georgia this year, man.
Yeah. But, like, all the guys that they've got coming in are Venables guys. These are Lincoln Riley guys. And he's adjusted Lincoln Riley, and he's got some transfers, of course. But he's adjusted his Lincoln Riley style of play to his way.
In a year.
In 1 year. Mm-hmm. And you know how hard it is to get defenders to go from being turnover based to controlling a game and, hey, we'll give up yards, just don't give up the touchdown. Like, in that mindset, that right there in his own right is a accomplishment. And then for the offense to be not like Lincoln Riley, but good. Still good, still a good offense. And still scoring points. Is a shout to Venables. And, like, that's the thing. I don't care that Brandon doesn't rate them. I rate them. I think they're good.
That was Brandon.
Brandon Walker.
What's it called? Everyone just shitted on Brandon Walker in his Oklahoma takes. Josh Pate was shitting on Brandon Walker too. Not really, but he was like, yeah, Brandon Walker, I don't know why he doesn't like this Oklahoma team.
Because it doesn't. Because when you watch them.
I know.
When you watch them play, it's like a different. Because it's completely different from what you're used to seeing. And when
honestly, I don't think Brandon Walker's watched Oklahoma probably play this year.
Yeah, but you have to take a step back, right? Because you're used to Oklahoma being flying, moving, offense like that. When you take a step back and go, it's not Lincoln Riley. It's not even Stoops when he was there.
Yeah.
It's a different...
Well, shit. No, early Stoops was defense all day.
Early Stoops, yes. Back in the Stoops was offense. Lincoln Riley was there. So, and there was another coordinator too. Who else was coordinator?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Right before Lincoln Riley and shit out there.
Was it Bryles?
No, they didn't have Bryles.
They didn't have Bryles.
Nah.
Not Art Bryles. I'm talking Art Bryles. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name.
Are we? Yeah. Why? The dude at work was back at Art Bryles. Oh God, he was back at Art Bryles and saying it wasn't his fault. Like, he didn't know, and like, it was the whole thing. He was like he didn't know, blah blah blah.
Unfortunately, he did. He hid all that.
Now he said everything was like he could get it. He said he could get a college job right now if he wanted to. He just had to coach in high school football. I was like, what the hell?
He got the job at Grambling State as offense coordinator. They kicked him out the next day. So obviously he cannot.
Exactly. It was wild as hell. I was like, what the hell is going on?
But Art Bryles is a great offensive mind.
Yeah.
As much bad shit as he did, great offensive mind. He's a terrible human being. Yes, I know that.
I would say terrible.
He's not a terrible human being. He did a bad thing to keep cover for his team.
Yes. He turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
And that's like Paterno.
Yeah.
Paterno's worse, though. I don't know why we're going that. Yeah, Paterno's
going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But, also, I love that they have not gone. They keep the Red River Shootout in the Cotton Bowl. I don't want it at AT&T Stadium.
That would be fucking, oh God. It's NFL commercialism if they did that to me.
Because the thing is, yes, the Cotton Bowl isn't sexy, but it's not supposed to be. This is when people say, oh, the Rose Bowl's a dump, or it doesn't have the amenities and all this stuff, right?
Amenities, yeah.
It's not flashy, it's not this. The Cotton Bowl's the same way. This is why college football works. It's great. Because you're not there for the suites and the pictures and all. That's NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to
Keep that shit that way.
Yeah. When you go to the college game, I'd love to go to the Rose Bowl because I'm not there to take pictures. I'm there to stand, watch the game. I don't care that they're bleachers. I'm going to stand anyways. It's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I don't sit at football games. I stand the whole time.
When you go to the Red River Shootout, you're not sitting. You're standing. It's split half and half, and you're standing the whole game.
Also, at the Cotton Bowl, too, the viewing experience is really good how they built it, because the upper deck, it kind of overhangs a little bit. Yeah. So, like, even if you're in the upper deck, you have a great view of the field.
Yeah.
And those older stadiums do a good job of having great views. Like, NFL stadiums, like, there's certain seats where you don't have a good perspective because they're so huge and like, getting a seat to be in there is just going to the game to be in the stadium. Whereas if you go to the Rose Bowl, because I've never been to the Rose Bowl, but the Cotton Bowl.
I'd love to go to the Rose Bowl.
But the Cotton Bowl, like, it's really cool because I don't really think there's too many bad seats in the stadium. At least for my experience.
Are the toilets probably shitty? Yeah. Do they have like?
Yeah, I know.
Like all that.
I think they've updated it. I don't think they have the troughs. I don't think they have the troughs and shit.
They probably updated. No denying that. But like. Yes, the bathrooms are probably still not the greatest. Just like in the Rose Bowl. Oh, the bathrooms are great.
And the area is not the greatest, too, but I think they're kind of building up a little bit around there and stuff like that.
Stuff. But you're not there for that, though. You're there to experience one of the greatest rivalries
in college sports.
College football. And you're like, well, look at Texas's home stadium. They have suites and all that stuff. Yes, because they need to get the boosters and to get the money. It's different when you go to the neutral sites in like the Rose Bowl. It's completely different. You're not there for that. You're there for that one game. You're there for that moment. Mm-hmm. You're not there to sell a booster to get facilities.
Or get a recruit or anything. The game is the selling point for the recruits. It's like going to that atmosphere.
That's what this game is. You're there for the game. You're not there for.
Well, you're there for the fair too.
Yeah, well, some people are, but you're there. You're definitely not. It's like a $2,000 seat right now. You're there for the game. Right?
Oh, is that what the tickets are going for?
I think it's around there. It might go up more by the time. I haven't literally looked. Last time I looked, I think it was the higher up seat was 1,630.
Yeah,
but like you're there for the game, and that's why I don't ever want it at AT&T Stadium.
No, I think they've it's extended to. I always see things on this through the off season. I think they extended it to 2032 or some shit like that. And plus, the state fair's there, and it just makes it cooler, right? Well, there's no atmosphere like it. The world's largest cocktail party is cool over at Jacksonville.
Yeah, but they don't split the stadium in half like
that. They've kind of done it. It
doesn't look as cool when you get that angle, that Goodyear angle of this seeing the split.
Yes.
And then you're like, there's a random Oklahoma fan in the Texas area.
It's rare.
You can easily pick out the random fans that just like, I bought a ticket. Oh fuck, I'm on the Oklahoma side. God damn it, like that. And then the feel of a fucking 80-yard play or a 40-yard play, and hear the one half screaming.
Mm-hmm. And well, on top of that, the crowd is always cheering. Yeah. Like, there's always somebody cheering because there's nothing. Wild. There's no. Because when the defense is on the field, you got the OU fans cheering, Texas fans cheering. If there's a big play, the other team, it's never quiet. The whole game, there's cheering going on the entire time. Getting goosebumps just looking forward to the game because fucking I'm so damn excited for it. Really glad Oklahoma's good.
This is the first year since
they said 2011. But like nobody played anybody during that time, so like
this is like the first year where it means a lot. Like,
no, since 08. Yeah. I said it on Saturday night. I said since 08, really, this is the biggest one. Both teams are
undefeated, and both teams are just like, who's going to win? And we might see this down the road in AT&T Stadium, which is fine. I don't mind the Big 12 championship being in AT&T Stadium,
right?
But this is like electric. We're talking about this so
much. The SEC commissioner is going to be at the Texas OU game?
Of course he is.
What the hell? That's wild as hell.
Why is he there and not at College Station?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's going to boat. Oh, he can't make it.
He can make it.
He could go
first half.
Tight. Yeah, he might do first half.
He'll be able to make it.
Traffic in Dallas, though?
He'll fly. Private. Yeah, he'll take a private plane. He'll probably go to both.
Okay.
I could see him making it because it's only like a 45-minute, 45-minute plane ride, if that. So he'll probably go to both. But yeah, I thought it was cool that he's going over there, especially after the Big 12 commissioners shitting on us so much. But you got to do your job back at conference, all that. Yeah. But obviously you could tell. Very excited for the game.
And plus we live in Texas. This is just like natural to us, right? If you live in Texas or Oklahoma, there's no way.
First experience, before we became a huge Texas fan, our uncle, he went to UT and all this. So you were playing a Pop Warner game outside in the rain and cold.
Yeah.
And, oh God, so Uncle Kevin took you. I don't know why he took you to the game anyway. I don't know what the hell happened.
I think our mom and dad, they were going somewhere. They went to San Jose. Mom went to San Jose because dad was at San Jose for work.
Okay, yeah, but he took us, and then he had the portable TV. This is bad. You couldn't watch shit on your phone. He had a portable TV.
Yeah.
And was watching the game. And that's the game Quentin Griffin ran all over us, and we lost. I think it was 63. Was it 63? It was like 55-10. Yeah. Oklahoma blew the fuck out of us. And then after that, we went to Huts and watched the Miami-Florida State.
Well, Huts is no more in Austin, but
fucking unfortunately. Great burgers at Huts.
I know we've been talking about the Red River. We'll move off the Red River now. We'll give you guys a peace of mind. All right, we'll go. All right, Ohio State fans. We'll go to your game, okay? This is that 11 o'clock game where it's Maryland. This is Maryland time, right? This is where Maryland crumbles?
Yes. He did it against Ohio State. Didn't he do it against them 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Where he played at Ohio State?
They have not played well at Ohio State at all.
Big Ev was saying that Maryland always gives them a tough game. And I was like, I
think that's only at Maryland. At Ohio State, I'm not going to call it the fucking horseshoe because it's no longer a horseshoe. I refuse to call your state.
Tradition, man. Tradition, man. We were just talking about Rose Bowl.
Yes, but when you close the shoe, it's not a shoe anymore. Yeah. When you close a horseshoe, it's a circle now. It is a circular thing. It's not even. It's not even a good bowl because they didn't even connect it. So there's like, there's still a horseshoe technically. No, it's not. You closed it. Yeah. All right. It's not like it's just not a horseshoe anymore. So when you go to Ohio, it's not even called Ohio Stadium. There, you don't have an advertisement. When you go to Ohio Stadium, Maryland's been awful. I don't think they've been close.
Like he chokes in these big games.
Yeah, well, Maryland chokes in big games in general.
He threw because I remember backing him. I fucking remember backing Maryland against Ohio State at Ohio State. And I think was it or it was Michigan? It was Ohio State, I think. And he threw a couple picks like early on. He was throwing picks like crazy. Unless I'm misremembering, I thought he played awful, and I do not trust him to go in there against the Ohio State defense that is really good. You're welcome. I guess we were a year late on saying that was a great hire for their...
we said it last year. We thought they would turn around quicker, but it was like a Venables thing. Now, I will say they're not that physical, but the thing is, Maryland's not a physical team.
You could run the ball. Well, Maryland has some good running backs, though.
Yeah,
they're really talented at the running back position.
But it's not like Notre Dame or Michigan style.
No, they run out of the spread, which is more convenient for them to stop it because
Ohio State can stop this better than they could Notre Dame or Michigan because they couldn't stop Notre Dame in the second half. I don't know if they're going to stop Michigan this year, but like Maryland, they can easily stop it because it's not the I'm going to line my quarterback up under center and just try to smash. Mm-hmm. But
Ohio State, I think. You were talking about coming out parties for receivers. I think Marvin Harrison. I think this is
this time to come out.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Maryland's defense really. I haven't.
We're not gonna lie. We have not watched much of Maryland. They have not been good.
It's not that they haven't played anybody. Yeah. Like there hasn't been a game that they've been on to watch them.
They played Indiana, blew out Indiana.
Yeah, I think we flipped. Yeah,
we didn't watch that game.
Yeah, so I don't know how good their defense is really. Be interested to see.
I think
their coach is bad too. Honestly, Tim Loxley is their coach. I think Tim
Loxley crumbles in big games.
Yeah, like he's got a bad track record, so he could put all this stuff to bed by winning a big game in Ohio State.
Or just competing.
Yeah,
give me a competing Maryland against a good team because every year they're like, "Oh, Maryland's a sneaky good team," and you're like, "Are they though?" And then they play these big games, and you're like. They got blown out. They're getting blown out. Not even close. Not even close. And you're like, Maryland's all right. They're okay. And you're at this point now where you need the Big Ten needs another team right now.
Mm-hmm. No, not necessarily. They don't really need it.
They don't really need it.
Fine.
They have the big three. But like, just to give me another game to talk about in the Big Ten.
Yeah, instead of the Iowa, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska,
Wisconsin. Wisconsin was that team. They've fallen off. It's going to take Fickle some time.
Because I was going to say, we probably won't talk about a Big Ten game again until Ohio State, Penn State.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe gambling might bring it up, but that's about it. Yeah. And even then, I don't even like it.
I don't like gambling on Big Ten games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, Maryland needs to be... Maryland and Wisconsin needs to come back, but I don't know if they're going to be able to come back.
Not this year.
Not yet. But Maryland needs to be that team. This is the year where Maryland needs to be that team where you could be like, I can see Maryland... upsetting Penn State, Michigan, or Ohio State. Mm-hmm. If they get blown out by Ohio State, I'm back on the Maryland's just not good. Like they're below Wisconsin tier. They're in like that third tier where you're just like, they're all right.
Yeah, in my mind when I'm going through this game, I'm like, I can envision because I've seen for some reason I'm picturing the Oregon game going back through my mind when they beat Ohio State. At Ohio State, it's like I could see their offense kind of doing some stuff against them, but that was a whole different defensive coordinator, whole different time, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State shuts Maryland's offense down, and their offense is like
everybody always says their offense is great, and you sit there and you're like, is it though?
For who? Right. Maryland?
Yeah. Every time. Like Maryland does a great job of baiting everybody into believing in them, and then flips it, and you're just like, fuck, why'd I bet Maryland? Or why am I even watching this game?
Because people think, what's called Tunga Valova is brother.
Yeah.
Talia Tungalova is good, and I don't think he's good. I don't trust him.
I don't see it at all sometimes.
Yeah, so I think Ohio State wins going away. I think the line should be they don't know what to do with Maryland. But I think it should be.
I have Maryland, and I'm gonna hate myself for it probably, but
it's the funner pick to do it. Gambling.
It's me believing. I'm like, come on, Maryland, let me believe in you. Finally, let me believe that you can compete against these teams, the big three. That's all I want. I don't care if you lose the game, but lose by 7 or 10, but be close the whole game, right? Let me believe in you.
Ohio State hasn't done one of their big blowouts this year.
They did against Western Kentucky, but they haven't done it against a team that you like, because they didn't really do it against Indiana. Yeah. It wasn't close, but it wasn't like a blowout.
Ohio State usually fucking lights a team up. Yeah, Ryan Day will light a team up.
But it's the quarterback,
and they are off a bye too.
It's their quarterback, and I don't think he trusts McCord as much as
they're coming. This is what I'll say. They're coming off a bye.
Yeah.
A little bit more confidence after that Notre Dame win in McCord. They might try to spread it out a little bit more and light it up. The crazy thing was... And their talent on offense is so explosive. They can just score...
It's wild, the difference between C.J. Stroud and McCord. The game one where C.J. Stroud was losing against Minnesota, then in the second half just flipped the switch and went on.
Yeah.
Ryan Day has not released... McCord hasn't been able to show Ryan Day that he can release him as quick as he did C.J. Stroud.
Right.
And I think maybe it's because McCord's not that... he's not on that level.
Well, yeah. He might develop into that level.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the bye week he figured it out and he can open up the offensive playbook more.
That's what I'm banking on. That's what I'm banking on.
That could be a thing. McCord can finally... They figured out... All right, McCord, boom. And the playbook goes from being this thin, really thin, to huge. C.J. Stroud backed off.
And with all the offensive talent Ohio State has across the board, it doesn't even need to be that big of a playbook because their guys are going to be open. Yeah, just make the throws. Just make the throws.
Making it not so heavy on the run in the pass. But like you said, Ryan Day doesn't really like the pass, the run that much in big games.
Yeah.
Now, this is somewhat of a big game. It is big noon. Joe Platt and Gus Johnson are going to be there.
So that makes me nervous because fucking everyone covers on the big noon games.
Yeah, so
on the big spreads, that's what fucking makes me nervous.
It'll be interesting to see. The other 11 o'clock game that we haven't got to and that we're going to get to now.
Damn, man, why is there 3 fucking God? So it would be
LSU
before.
Yeah, well, main TV's Red River, but it's LSU Missouri. Missouri's 5-0. Beat K-State at home. LSU coming off that that disappointing loss against Ole Miss at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has played really well. The defense, you want to talk about bad defenses, right? Everybody's like USC's defense is bad. LSU's defense is worse.
Not worse.
Oh, it's worse.
Not worse than USC's.
No, they make Jackson Dart look like a Heisman candidate.
Hey, man, people say Jackson Dart.
They make KJ Jefferson look like a Heisman candidate. They've made a lot of players look good.
It's not worse than USC's. That's a little extreme. I'm not going that way.
Oh, you're not going that way?
No,
I'm going that way.
That's a crazy take, yo. But
I'm going that. They're not talented. They give up yards.
All right, so if their defense is so bad, Missouri Brady Cook,
I think
isn't Brady Cook the best quarterback in the SEC now?
I would say yeah. I mean, there's not many to choose from, right?
But Brady Cook's the best quarterback in the SEC.
I feel like it goes week to week, right, for the SEC. You're like, Brady Cook's the best, right? And then you got a bad game this week and say, Milroe has a good game. Or Milroe's the best quarterback, right? And you're like, then next week he has a bad week. And then you go, Leary's the best quarterback. Leary's the best quarterback, right? And you're like, yeah, it just flip-flops. There's not a clear cut. In the Pac-12, you're like, it's Caleb Williams, Penix, Bo Nix. That's your 3. And then you have Ward and anyone else. The Big 12, Ewers. Then it's Gabriel. Then after that, you go Will Howard. There's clear cuts.
Daniels.
I do like Daniels, but he's hurt, so it's unfortunate that I can't put him in there. But he is Daniels is.
I think he's the best actually in the Big 12.
Well, yeah, but in the ACC, you go. It's Travis May.
Riley Leonard's out.
Riley Leonard's out, unfortunately. But it was Leonard. There's a clear cut. In the Big Ten, you're like, J.J. McCarthy, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. The SEC doesn't have that this year. You don't go...
No, it's Brady Cook. I just told you who the best.
Right now, yes. But Jay Daniels is just putting up great numbers himself.
Yeah, he's a numbers guy.
Hey, he could, if he doesn't against Missouri, that's 4 weeks in a row.
That's fine. He doesn't read the field at all, man. He just is one. I just hate his.
They've done a better job opening up from week 1. I will say this.
I hate the way he plays quarterback. If it's not there on 1-2, take off and run. Like he's so selfish. It seems like he's a selfish player, and he just likes to have his stats good, and he's cool with losing.
From week 1, from the comebacks, the outs, and the slants, they've done different. Yeah. They've gone deeper now.
Yes.
Which they've opened up the offensive playbook. The defensive playbook needs to get way shorter. They need to go very basic on defense.
No, it's not about the playbook on defense. It's about the effort and willingness to tackle, which they had no willingness to do against Ole Miss.
Or even Arkansas. Arkansas shouldn't have been in that game at all. But they got in that game.
Yeah. And I'll say this, and we'll be probably wrong once again, because I said it when LSU played Ole Miss. I like Missouri's defense. I think it's a good defense.
And I think Missouri has probably one of the best receivers that nobody really talks about.
Luther Burden. Yeah. Well, people talk about him that know because he's a 5-star.
Yeah, 5-star recruit. But like, when you get to Missouri, things get stacked. Like boom, boom, boom. He's really good. Mm-hmm. This is one of the better 2 receiver matchups with Meechin and him.
No, Neighbors.
Is it Neighbors? Neighbors
for LSU?
Yeah, Neighbors. Is it Neighbors or Neighbors?
Neighbors.
Okay. Yeah. I'm terrible with names, guys. That's why I'm.
I know we're bad with names for both of us.
But it's a really good matchup that nobody's like really talking about. Like if this was like
Missouri, your atmosphere better be good. By the way.
Oh, and the fact that you're 6-point dogs at home, you should be motivated to not only win but dominate LSU, right? And if you dominate LSU, I'm throwing you guys maybe as favorite. You guys can win the East.
Yeah, they're right there.
I mean, they got to go between the hedges against Georgia. Mm-hmm. But you played them really close last year, and they were 10 times better than they are this year. So you have the opportunity. If you beat LSU this week.
You mean 10 times better last year than they are this year?
Georgia's 10 times better last year than they are this year.
Yeah.
If Missouri beats LSU this week, and I'm not ranking LSU high, but it is still LSU. And if they beat them by like say 10 to 2 touchdowns, Missouri might be the favorite in the East.
They won't be the favorite.
They won't be the favorite, but they'll be. In my mind, I think they'll be a bigger favorite than Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia.
Yeah. I don't know about Georgia. Georgia would still be the favorite in my eyes. I will say this though: we were just talking about Maryland, Ohio State. LSU, Missouri, same kind of matchup, except one's at home and one's on the road. Missouri is the type of team similar to Maryland, where they'll go on these runs and then they'll fucking lay a huge egg. Yeah. Like they'll shit the bed bad in some of these games.
Though they beat K-State this year. Usually they'll lose that K-State game.
Yes,
they won that game this year. Mm-hmm. Now I don't like their coach.
Drinkwater, Drinkwater, right?
I don't like him. He might fuck this game up too. So you gotta look at that narrative too. Just like you don't like Maryland's coach. They both kind of do similar dumb things.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a coach do dumb things in big games.
And I don't know what his record is, but I'm willing to bet Brian Kelly's record after a loss is probably phenomenal because of his overall record. He doesn't really lose back-to-back games.
No, he really
He does a good job of rallying the troops. When the chips are down, they usually come out and fucking light teams up. Because they lost to, after the... Oh, shit, I guess it was a couple games later after the Florida State loss because they blew the fuck out of Mississippi State when they went on the road.
Blow out Mississippi State. So, yeah. But I will say this. Remember when I said Clemson last week, they have nothing to play for, how well are they going to do? It's kind of the same similar situation with LSU.
Yeah.
If you're thinking national championship playoff contention and you lose 2 games and you're out of it, where are your players' mindset at now? How do you readjust their minds?
Well, Clemson came out
Clemson, that's what I'm saying. Clemson did a good job. Has Brian Kelly adjusted it to, hey, we might not win the national championship, but we can still win.
No, they could still win the SEC.
That's what I'm saying. The mindset is win the West, and will players like win the West and win the SEC? Or are they just going to be like, well, we weren't looking for that. We already did that last year.
Or it could be like Clemson played a lot of freshmen in that Syracuse game too that weren't probably going to play before on the defensive line. Clemson, so LSU might just play a couple be like fuck it, we'll play some young guys, get them some reps, and they're hungrier, especially on the defensive side of the ball with how bad it is.
Anybody, I would throw any freshman out there to see what you got.
Yeah,
especially on the defense. Offense, they still score. So defensively, throw anything. Anybody that shows any effort, throw them in there. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting to see.
And you don't need to worry about redshirting guys nowadays in today's college football with all the transfer portal shit that happens, like players leaving. So you just play them. So fuck it. Who knows?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Moving on. A 2:00 game that nobody's really talked about.
Because it's on the
it's on the Pac-12 network, and one of those things is the Washington State UCLA game. Remember, I said last week, if Oregon State beat Utah, the wildness is happening.
Yes,
the wildness is happening. Washington State's losing that game.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah, and Vegas they put the line at
3.5
for UCLA being favored. I was like, God damn, because of course I was betting UCLA because I'm high on UCLA.
Yeah, I think this is Washington's first real road test against a quality team, and I don't think they're prepared. They had a bye week, but I don't think they're ready for UCLA. The Rose Bowl's not going to be packed. It's going to be all right, but UCLA's going to beat them.
UCLA had a bye week too.
Yeah, I know, but it's just going to be one of those games where you're like, damn, Washington State's going to lose. It's not upset because Vegas has UCLA favored, but the ranked team is going to lose this week.
And like I said, I'm not high on Washington State as other people are.
Now, if Washington State beats UCLA,
I will take a lot back what I've said about Washington State.
I said Washington State's the Oregon State of last year, and if they beat UCLA,
this will be the win that impresses me. Oregon State impressed me too, but
I'll say this: I'm they're in the hunt. I'm throwing them in with the Washingtons, the Oregons, and the USC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw them in there, too, if they beat UCLA. But I don't think they're going to beat UCLA. I think Brian Kelly's going to...
Chip.
Did I say Brian Kelly? Mm-hmm. Chip Kelly, sorry. Chip Kelly's going to adjust. He's got his freshmen probably figured out now. Washington State's defense is not as good as Utah's defense.
No, and they're at home, a comfortable environment for the freshmen. And overall in that... Considering all the things that happened in the Utah, I don't think he played as bad as the scoreline suggested against a tough defense on the road, freshman.
It wasn't great.
I was really more pissed off with the talent around him not helping him out at all, which fucking sucked. I'm still high on UCLA this year, so that's the thing that I'm gonna still ride with. That's why I'll go that way. It'll be interested to see how Cam Moore does, because people are starting to put some Heisman buzz around his name and this and that. So
unfortunately, it's on the Pac-12 network though. In Pac-12, you wonder why people leaving the Pac-12. You sit there and you're like, why are you leaving the Pac-12? That's why. You guys aren't on any major cable programs. You're on Fubo TV, Sling TV, and you're like, oh yeah, those are still good. But you're not on DirecTV. You're not on Dish. You're not on YouTube TV. You're not on the main programs.
Yeah, how did they not get a YouTube? You have to pay extra to get Pac-12, huh?
It's not on YouTube.
It's not even available?
It's not even available because I have the sports package on YouTube and it's not available.
I will say this. I don't know if I should put this out here into the ether, but when USC played, who the fuck were they?
San Jose State?
Yeah.
Week 0 on the Pac-12 network?
I was able to find the game.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, yeah.
On regular YouTube, so you can find the game on the YouTube.
You can stream the games, but it's just one of those things where the older people are not going to do that.
Yeah,
they're not going to do that. And also the Pac-12, you force yourself to have triple headers every week. So that's 6 teams, right? That's half your teams. You should have made a deal with.
No, there's more than 12 teams in the Pac-12.
It's called the Pac-12.
I thought you did the number thing where it's more than 12.
It's 12.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You take half your teams and throw them on the Pac-12 network. Right? You should have been making a deal with Fox. You should have done any low deal. If you did Fox and ESPN on a low ball deal, I guarantee you, if you did any deal with them, they would have stayed in the Pac-12. But the reason why they aren't is because you're just forcing them. You 3 games on the Pac-12 network, and UCLA Washington State's on the Pac-12 network. You're like, what the fuck? That's a good game. Why? I'm not gonna watch that game when I could just go to CBS and watch Alabama play Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just not. Like, that's the thing. Great transition, by the way. They go to A&M. This is one of the things that Pac-12 shoots themselves in the foot.
I was waiting for you to get done with this Pac-12 fucking network. But that's what it popped. The Pac-12's dead. It's already dead. So there's no point in going.
When you go through the reasons why, and you see a quality game of Washington State, UCLA, and you're like, damn, why is that not on ESPN?
Yeah, so you can just flip.
So you can flip it between the Alabama A&M game.
I will say that's the annoying thing about going to streaming services. Like, it's harder to flip. Like, you just have to buy more TVs and have them streamed on different TVs. So, like, everything's forcing you to spend more money because you got to get another streaming service, another TV if you want to watch multiple games.
Yeah,
at a time.
But like, it was just one of those things where the Pac-12 shot themselves in the foot with that network, and they, for the life of me, they didn't even try to get another deal done. Like, that's wild to me too. Like, they never were like, hey, let's focus on getting.
All right.
I know, but like, just think about how stupid they're. I know, but like, if you're anyways, yeah, we'll move on. People are now thinking about it too, like, damn, that is true. Like, after the year, you wouldn't think about trying to get YouTube or DirecTV in with you guys, like, after the football season? No, you didn't. This baffles me that they did it.
All right, move past.
I like the Pac-12. I'm glad we're moving to the Big 12, but like, I still like the Pac-12. It was one of the true regional things.
Why don't you have the baseball game on?
It wasn't on yet. Soap opera was still on. I was waiting for it to come on.
Oh shit! Oh, it's on ABC.
Yeah, ugh. That's why. 2:30 game. Alabama going to College Station to play A&M. A&M's a 2-point dog. Over under 47. I have more questions about A&M than I have questions about Bama. I'm going to say that. I think Bama is still good. I think Bama is still the leader. I still think Bama is the top dog of the West right now.
Man, the fucking these dudes they're called the college football nerds, and they do all these analytics and all this bullshit with their like predicting games and shit. I'm talking about how Alabama has the best defense in college football.
I don't consider that. They played Mississippi State. They played really nobody other than Texas.
Didn't they give up points against Mississippi State?
No, not really. I think it was about 13.
Oh, okay. Maybe they do then.
Well, and Ole Miss they didn't score. So, yeah. Other than Texas, nobody's really scored against them that much.
South Florida.
They didn't score.
They scored 10.
It's just Alabama didn't score either.
Yeah.
I think I have more answers now with Bama than I have with A&M. I think this is a make or break for A&M, right? Because it's another quality opponent. They didn't look good against their quality opponent they played against Miami. Their secondary looked awful. But then you look and they beat. Who was the last 2 wins against?
Arkansas, and then they beat.
They beat Arkansas, and then they beat
Auburn.
Auburn's offense is bad.
Yes.
Arkansas was good. That was a good job. But Max Johnson didn't look. He looked okay in the first half, about the first quarter and some change. Mm-hmm. Then he went back down to, I'm just going to run the ball every play. Didn't look great in the second half. Defensively, they were good. Pick six, all that stuff. Johnson also threw a pick six. So I have more questions on A&M than I have answers.
Okay. I think for me, A&M's defense does good against quarterbacks that can't pass the ball.
Plus A&M, for some reason, can win at Bama. They cannot win at Kyle Field.
Yeah, they do tend to. No, they won a couple years ago at Kyle Field.
Oh yeah, they did. They game-winning field goal.
Their defense. So I do kind of have a few answers in my mind for A&M's defense. They're great in the front seven. They're really good. They're great at stopping the run. Alabama, they need to run the football to be all right. Milroe's not a great passer. He's okay. He's not gonna threaten you down the field. So I think their secondary will be just good enough to hold Bama down.
It's kind of like the KJ Jefferson type thing.
Right, yeah, I think it's the same kind of game plan.
But I will say Milroe's better scrambler when the pass, like KJ Jefferson has no pocket presence.
Yeah.
Milroe has a little bit better pocket presence.
Not much, though.
Yeah, but
he's a little bit quicker. He's quicker than KJ. So if he makes the reads quick and gets out earlier, A&M did a good job of that. So it was a good warm-up test to play Milroe. I think their defense game plan doesn't have to switch up too much from that. And, like, I think A&M overall is the better team. Like, Bama doesn't have guys on the outside like A&M does. A&M has playmakers over the field. Bama doesn't.
Yeah, but Johnson doesn't get the playmakers the ball, and that's a worry.
Well, yeah, they need to work on that. Fucking, what's it called? Wagner wasn't getting them the ball enough either. That's something that they really need to work on. Jimbo's good against Nick Saban, like, lately. He's been coming up with good game plans. I know they lost close last year, but it seems like he has a pretty good offensive game plan going against the Nick Saban defense. So I kind of trust him and Petrino putting some little wrinkles in for this game for them to pull out an upset win when A&M's not ranked and Bama's ranked 11. And like, if you listen to my SEC preview, I kind of fucking like A&M. I need them to win this game for my predictions, selfishly, to be right. And like I said, like, people say Alabama has the best defense in college football on certain other avenues that you can listen to, and I don't believe it. And I think they can be had, especially over the top. So,
another 2:30 game. We're not going to get much into this. North Carolina playing Syracuse. Trap. We both like it. Trap.
Yep.
That's just a trap for North Carolina.
Stay away.
Not much going on in the 2:30, 3 o'clock range.
No, not really. You need Daniels to play for Kansas.
Yeah, if Daniels plays, I'm betting Kansas. 6 o'clock, you have the Kentucky-Georgia game. I think it's going to be another grind fest for Georgia. I think Kentucky can compete with them.
Leary's not good, though.
The question is...
Leary is not good.
Is Leary. If Leary has a good game, if he just has a good game, doesn't need to be great, just good, Kentucky can beat Georgia.
Yeah. Because I think Kentucky's defense is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's the thing. Right? If Kentucky
and they're gonna have a better game plan than just letting fucking Bowers light them up in the fourth quarter, running in-breaking routes.
Bowers is one of the best threats in college football. One of the best tight ends I've seen in college football.
I agree with that. I agree. However, the defense Auburn kept continuously playing against Bowers in that game was awful.
Yes. Now, I think if they cover Bowers, I think what's his name, the white receiver, number 84, McCorkle will have a good game.
I think Beck has a issue throwing the deep ball on the outside, and anything outside the hashes. From what I've seen, he's not great at throwing the ball outside the hashes.
Yeah,
he kind of struggles with that. And Kentucky's defense is really aggressive, and they're ball hawks. I could see Beck throwing a couple picks against this Kentucky defense and maybe one going to the house. That could kind of change the game a little bit. However, it's at Georgia.
It is at Georgia.
Kentucky kind of on offense is the thing that I'm more...
Like they had a great run game against Florida, but Georgia's not going to miss tackles like Florida did.
No, Ray Davis isn't going to be getting those kind of yards against that.
And after that performance, Georgia's going to focus on Davis.
Yes, and they'll be all out. And then that forces Leary to try to have...
Like we said, Leary just has to have a good game. Just a good game. Because you can compete with them, but Leary, you have to have a good game. And I'm tell you the truth, Leary, the downside Sam Hartman hasn't won a big game. Leary, I don't think you've ever even came close to winning a big game.
Yeah, that's fine, but no one puts Leary at Sam Hartman level. No one does. No one. Don't fucking switch it up.
I think they do.
No, they do not.
They were talking about Leary being just as good as a transfer prospect that Sam Hartman was this year.
Who?
A lot of people were. They were like, I think, this is what they said. They said, I think they got a better quarterback than they did last year. They said Leary's an upgrade from Will Levis.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think it is. I think it was a downgrade.
I agree it's a downgrade. I think the offensive coordinator was an issue last year, which is kind of showing they brought the other OC back, which was why I was high on Kentucky coming into this year. Yeah, saying that is not the same thing as putting him at the same level as Hartman, though. Hartman gets Heisman hype.
He got Heisman hype at the beginning of the year. It died. It's dead. But
no one talks about Leary for the Heisman.
They only talked about Hartman. Hartman wasn't in there until the week 1 Navy game. I was on the.
People don't even know who Kentucky's quarterback is.
I'm pretty sure a majority of people know it's Shitty Leary.
I don't think people watch Kentucky play this year. I doubt people.
I'm pretty sure they watched him in NC State and were like, yeah, he's not winning big games.
Yeah, that offensive system was bad.
Yeah. Ole Miss plays Arkansas. Not getting the Sam Pittman stuff. The only question is, Lane Kiffin keep it going. I'm pretty sure he should against Sam Pittman. And that
I don't know. Fucking Arkansas is done.
Yeah, but Arkansas could win that game to get to 500. And you're just like, oh no surprise there.
Little brown jug. Don't skip it.
Little brown blowout.
All right.
I have no confidence in Minnesota. I'm a PJ Fleck guy, and I love them. Their quarterback is just terrible.
I had a shout out. I like that trophy. I always like the little brown jug.
Their quarterback is awful at Minnesota.
Do you think that rivalry lost to Leicester whenever they took down the Metrodome? They had some great games in that Metrodome. It's a Metrodome, right? Wasn't it the Metrodome?
Yeah, it was Metrodome. No, I like their new stadium. I just think that it's not where it needs to. I just think Minnesota this year is not like if Tanner Morgan was there, I'd feel a little bit more confident, which is wild to say. I hated Morgan at Minnesota, but this quarterback makes them horrifically bad.
Yeah, Michigan's gonna fucking blow the hell out of them.
And if Michigan does blow them out, I'm back on questioning Michigan more than I am at anything else. The 6:30 ABC primetime game, Notre Dame's got another road test, another ACC wannabe contender, could be contenders. Your guy from Purdue, your great Louisville team, again, not great, but Louisville going against Notre Dame. It's not called the KFC. Is it called the Papa John's Stadium or is it called the KFC
it's
Stadium?
Definitely not called Papa John's Stadium. He got canceled a couple years back, remember?
Is it KFC Stadium now?
I think they just call it Cardinal Stadium. That's what it says.
Is it called the Cardinal Stadium?
I don't know.
I'd much rather it be the Papa John's Stadium.
Hey, don't get canceled like Papa John.
Hey, I'm not going to. Papa John still has commercials. Papa's not in the house anymore. He got rid of it.
Papa's in the house. Louisville against Notre Dame. Interesting matchup. Kind of actually want to lean Notre Dame this way because they're a more proven team. Louisville tends to choke in these games. Not the coach, Jeff Brom. Not choke. What's the right word? Kind of let me down because I always have high expectations for him going into the game and they kind of let me down.
Plumlee is so... He's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's going 400 feet in the air. He's like those... he's the shoreline roller coaster where it's high for a shoreline, but it's not like high.
What the fuck is shoreline?
Like a Jersey Shore. A carnival roller coaster.
Oh,
where you're like, oh, it's good, and then you're like, oh, it's bad. It's not like a Six Flag roller coaster or those roller coasters. We're like, oh man, we're going 400 feet in the air and then dropping down.
Yeah,
it's just like it's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and it can go really bad, or you're like, oh, it's good. But Notre Dame's defense is good. And I don't see Louisville is prepared for that.
This one of those games where they pull out the trickery?
They can.
Because I don't think they've done it much this year.
But Louisville has played almost every game close.
All right. I just thought, this is why I'm picking Louisville. The undiscipline that fucking Notre Dame has. They were fucking awful in that Duke game. They should have fucking lost that game because of how undisciplined they were in that game, too. They had, fucking 100 yards in penalties in that game?
Is it time to question Freeman more?
No, they just won at Duke. That was a big win.
I know, but is it time to question, I know they've won games, but is it time to question, his coaching decisions? I think it's time to be he might not be, a great decision maker.
I was going to say something about, his presence on the sideline, because he was freaking out and like his energy on the sideline and giving the bad facial expressions and be kind of I could see that. Yeah, I could see that kind of rubbing off the team a little bit, but maybe the team kind of likes a coach that expressive. Who knows? But for me, I don't want my coach to be that expressive with every call every single time. Kind of want a little bit more. If something goes wrong really bad, yeah, go the fuck off. but every single time you don't have to have like downward energy.
Like a stoic. He needs to be a little more stoic.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind expressive coaches, but every call, it's something. He's like, fuck. Well, oh. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, maybe things don't go right all the time. Like, be a little bit more positive. Be like the clapper. Fucking, what's his name?
Not
Jason
everybody
Garrett.
likes clappers, though.
Jason Garrett.
Not everybody likes the clapper.
Mac Brown.
I will say, not everybody likes clappers.
Yeah, I don't like it too much. Like, if you do it over and over again.
Yeah.
Mac Brown used to annoy the fuck out of me with how positive he was, no matter what.
So, I mean, that. Other than that, I mean, you have a really good G5 game. I'm not going to get much into it. Fresno, Wyoming's a sneaky good game.
Yeah, that game's going to be awesome. Yeah,
I think that's a sneaky good game. I'm really good job by Fox putting that on.
Yeah,
on that 7, because that's a good game. It's gonna be grimy, gonna be good. Other than that, I mean, you have the mid bowl, I guess you would call it. Texas Tech Baylor, 9:30. Your Pac-12 after dark is Arizona USC. I will say this. I think this might be. No, I'm not going to give... No, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
But there's a chance I do believe Arizona is going to win this game. But
my boy Justin Wilcox not going to upset Oregon State?
No.
You see the Oregon State coach had...
California's not going to beat Oregon State.
You see the Oregon State coach had to apologize for doing the milk. Yeah.
That was funny, though.
I know, right? He was like, I won't do it again.
Well, Meet the Parents can do it, but he can't do it? Yeah. Like the little milking?
Meet the Parents came out 30 years ago, almost, damn near.
Yeah,
well, probably
like,
20.
It's just like milk. Milk it.
Yeah.
Milk the clock.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
It's
but,
funny.
in society nowadays, you're not allowed to do anything that's
whatever.
funny.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So
it's fun. Baylor plays Tech. That's just a mid bowl.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's just one of those things. The week looks like a lot of upsets. So, all right, you ready to get into the gambling hour?
Yeah, our cards.
Yeah, let's get to the gambling hour.
Our gambling hour.
Well, it's not an hour. We're not going to talk about it for an hour, but it's the last segment we do every college football preview. And we give our picks for the gambling. And you want to go first? Or you want? I technically still have the best record, so I.
Oh yeah, by far you have the best record.
So
I had an awful week. So
I went 10-10 last week. Was a grind. It was rough. I added some to my card to make me 10-10. I'm 45-42-2. So this is my card for this week. I start tonight. I go Jacksonville State +3. Give me some Rich Rod love. Shout out Rich Rod. U of A should never fired you, but we did.
It moved down to 3. It was 3.5.
I got it +3. Well, I got it +3. So
okay.
Give me Jacksonville State.
Why are they underdogs?
On the road, Mid Tennessee State. I don't know.
That's a trap.
Yeah, it probably is, but I'm trusting Rich Rod. Give me Liberty well, it moved to 20.5. I got it. It says 19.5. I haven't bet it, so I guess it's 20.5 now. Great. I still like Liberty at 20.5. Apparently, they've been covering everything, so give me them. Give me Maryland +20. Give me the Rutgers-Wisconsin game under 44.
Just say what?
Yeah,
what?
Under 44.
Okay.
Give me Wisconsin, Rutgers under 44.
Better those Big Ten games.
Give me Marshall +6.5. I almost wanted to go money line. NC State starting a new quarterback. Brendan Armstrong's no longer the quarterback. Give me Marshall +6.5. Give me A&M money line. I know I have Alabama winning the West, but I just feel like
I felt like in the preview you were talking your way into Bama winning that game. You said you had more answers with Bama.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Wouldn't you rather don't you love?
You want the wild card?
Don't you love the mystery more than the answer?
Okay.
So give me A&M money line. Give me Wake Forest 21 +21 on Clemson. Just one of those things.
Okay. All right, you're just back in Wake Forest.
Yeah, in the ACC preview, I said I hate that. I love Wake Forest still, and that's my love. Give me Colorado -4. Arizona State still sucks. You give me Colorado -4, but their offense. Arizona State's offense is bad. Colorado's defense isn't that bad. Give me them -4. Michigan -19. Like I said, Minnesota stinks this year. They're going to run riot on them. Give me Fresno State -6.5. I've been riding Fresno State for about 4 weeks. Should have covered against Nevada. They had a bad fuck up at the end of the game. So give me that. Give me Georgia Tech +21. No, they lost to the MAC team last week. I have this game because Miami's throwing out these ugly ass black uniforms, and it was super annoying. I was like, these are ugly. They're nasty. Give me Georgia Tech +21.
It's a uniform pick?
Yeah, it's a uniform pick for how bad Miami's black jerseys are.
Well, Georgia Tech lost to Bowling Green, right?
Yeah, they were looking ahead to this game.
Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Give me the under 54.5. Notre Dame, Louisville. Notre Dame hasn't had a game where in the past 3 weeks where it's been over. That trend stays the same. The defense is good. Offense hasn't really been clicking, and plus Notre Dame likes to run the ball, so the clock. They like to run the clock.
Always ticking.
Always ticking. Give me Arizona +21.5. Might do a money line. It is the last game of the night. We'll see where we go from there. And then give me the over 60.5 in the Tech Baylor game. It's just one of those games where one of those games. And then my game of the year.
You're hoping for Big 12 magic happening in that game.
Game of the year. Give me the Texas Red River Shootout like none other tomorrow. I always bet it every year. Red River Shootout over 60. Game of the year. Going to be betting the most money I probably will bet this year on that game. Actually, it have to be. It's my game of the year.
Right.
So that is my card for this week. We'll see where we go from there. I could either be really good, happy, or really bad.
Yeah. Well, it'll start off early too with your game of the year at 11. Then you'll be like, oh fuck. Yeah. Well, ride with those because you have the better record. Obviously, I was 9-13-1 last week. Another bad week. We were going through it over here. So that brings my record at 39-45-2. Sad day. It's going to be a fight back to try to get to 500.
Starting to get a little Rico-ish there.
Yeah, I know. It's
Bosco.
I know, man. I'm fucking letting everything down. Losing confidence, but hopefully we can build back up this week. Let's go. Got tonight's game, Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee. Just give me the over 52. And I don't trust the 3. That line seems like a trap, so I'll just say fucking score some points in that game. Liberty, I guess it's 20.5 now. I like the coach a lot. They came over from Coastal Carolina, which was a weird, wild move. Like, that's like a lateral move. I don't understand why you go from Coastal Carolina to Liberty.
A shit ton of money.
Liberty, good job having money. He's definitely going to be coaching at a big university. Hey, Michigan State, you need a coach. You should probably shout him out.
I don't think Urban Meyer's going to Michigan State. Well, I highly doubt that, but
he just likes to be talked about. Yeah. He likes to be wanted. But Michigan State should really look at the Liberty head coach. Give me Kansas State, Oklahoma State under 53.5.
54.
Oh, even better. 54. Like I said, these big 12 numbers, they're keeping them like a little bit too high for me, so I like to pick the under in those. Obviously, I'm gonna roll with Texas. I think it's 6.5. Yeah, like it's probably not gonna move. I wish it would go down. Hopefully, closer to game day, I get it at like 5.5. Maybe it'll go down a point. Hopefully,
I highly doubt it'll go down a point. Maybe half.
Yeah, but give me Texas. Give me Missouri. Take a money line. I don't need the 6. Ohio State, Maryland. I'm going the over 58. I think Ohio State scores
7.5 now.
Okay, and that's better for me too. But the money's coming in the wrong way that I'm going with the games, but that's fine. I think Ohio State scores a shit ton against Maryland. I always play Temple +14, double digits against a not very good UTSA team. Haven't even got updates if Harris is playing or not. Really don't give a fuck anyway. Just give me Temple, 14. Western Michigan, 20.5 against Mississippi State. Oh, fucking... I don't think Mississippi State should be 3 touchdowns favorites over anybody. UCLA.
Oh yeah, I'll add that to my cartoon money line.
Yeah, against Washington State.
Yeah.
A&M over Alabama. Talked about that. I'll just take Kansas over UCF. I think UCF might be down after that big collapse last week. I got Kentucky 14.5 against Georgia. Probably it depends on how the early days go, how I'm feeling. Probably just go money line Kentucky. Also on that, Michigan fucking smashing Minnesota. That's 19. Louisville money line against Notre Dame, undisciplined Notre Dame team. I have Wyoming covering the.
Oh, it was 6.5. It was 6.5. Now it's 6.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
Give me Wyoming against Fresno State. Tough place to play. It's going to be a defensive battle. Grind it out. Actually, I had Fresno State and I flipped in my mind and went to Wyoming and scratched that off. And then I got Tech money line against Baylor. I think Baylor's like if they would have lost to UCF, I think the line would be a lot higher for Baylor. So just give me that, and which you could say for a lot of teams. So that statement, I think they weren't that great against UCF. They were getting blown out. Yeah. Lucky comeback. I think Tech wins easily against Baylor, and give me Zona to cover 21.5 against SC.
All right.
So
those are our cards as a preview for Week 6 of college football. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting us.
What time is it?
It is 2:26.
And OU still sucks.
All right. Enjoy the Red River. Enjoy all the college football on Saturday. We'll see you guys Saturday night for our recap. And we'll be watching the Arizona game during the recap. We're going to actually do it during the Arizona game. We can't be doing these at 1 a.m. anymore, okay, guys? Been doing a lot of those. We're going to try to get a live stream going for the Red River Shootout as well. Oh, another thing. I forgot about this. I hate Fanatics, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I ordered a shirt September 25th.
Yeah.
That shirt ain't coming in until after the Red River Shootout.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. It said 5 to 7 business days. That's past 5 to 7 business days, and it's showing up on Monday.
It's bullshit. That's what happens when you allow a monopoly.
I hate
That's
that.
what happens when you allow a monopoly.
Fanatic is a monopoly of any team store. You search any team store of yours, it's fucking powered by Fanatics. Powered by Fanatics. Fucking hate them.
It's the worst thing that happened to sports apparel.
Yeah, it's the worst. Even lids, powered by Fanatics. Used to not be powered by Fanatics. Everything's powered by Fanatics team-wise. You have to go to the co-op if you're going there, or you have to live in the city. It's just annoying. It baffles my mind.
Or you have to buy shit a month in advance, maybe.
Like that shirt didn't even come out until like 2 weeks before that week of September too. So what do you expect? I bought a Red River Shootout shirt for the game of the year for me, and you're not gonna get here before the game of the year for me? That's on you, Fanatics. And I hate that. I hate Fanatics. I just wanted to go on a rant.
Yeah, well deserved.
Popped in my head. And I feel like everybody feels that way about Fanatics.
Yes.
There's not one sports fan.
Well, the people that know what it was like to order things from. Well, I guess you could go to eBay and Amazon then. Fuck it.
Yeah, I guess. But like the people like back in the day where it was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Lids look for a hat, or I'm gonna go here look for a hat. Oh,
East Bay.
East Bay. Oh, they got different things. Everybody's got different things. Oh, cool. They have a shirt that this place doesn't have. Like it was just one of those things. Now everything's just powered by it. So when you go to like Lids and you're like, oh, I don't like any of these shirts. Let me go to the store. The Arizona store. Nope, guess what the fuck it is? It's powered by Fanatics, which is the same fucking shit on Lids.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is annoying. But anyways, we went on a little rant at the end. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting. We're going to try to work a live stream in for the Red River Shootout. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Yeah. We'll probably do we'll probably live stream almost the whole day.
Oh shit, that'll be a fucking long ass day.
We'll probably do the whole day. We might take breaks here and there. And then we'll just record this episode, the recap, with the live stream and post it on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel now, so go subscribe to that if you want to. And thank you guys for listening.
All right.
We're out.